Senator Siewert.
Thank you, Mr President. Mr President, my question is to the Minister representing the Employment Participation Minister. And I'm asking about the liquid assets test. Noting that as part of the stimulus package, the government agreed to double the liquid asset threshold for relevant payments and remove the liquid assets waiting period for a time period of 2 years up until the 31st of March 2011. As part of that agreement, the government also agreed that these arrangements would be reviewed after 1 year to determine their adequacy. I ask, have the changes to the liquid assets threshold and waiting period, have those changes been reviewed? If so, what have been their findings? Will those findings be publicly released? I ask, if they haven't been reviewed, why not?
Minister representing the Minister for Employment Participation, Senator Carr.
Thank Senator Siewert for her question, and she's indicated I'm representing a minister who's representing another minister. So there is a long chain back to where we can try to get some answers for you. The liquid assets weighting test is a weighting period which applied to ensure people with substantial assets use their assets for self-support before calling on the community for income support. And if this is a test for the benefit of the chamber that applies to youth allowance, off study, new start allowance, sickness allowance recipients whose liquid assets exceed the specified threshold. The liquid assets include cash shares and term deposits and monies due or able to be paid by the person's former employer and other readily realisable assets. Now, as part of the global recession response, the liquid asset waiting period was temporarily doubled to $5,000 for a single person with no children and $10,000 for all other recipients from the period of the 1st of April 2009 through to the 31st of March 2010. And this was a measure that is included in the Jobs and Training Compact of the 09-010 budget. Now, given the circumstances have substantially improved across the economy as a result of the strong economic management of this government, there is now a situation where we're finding that there is a much better position for people, and there's been no decision to extend these temporary arrangements beyond the 31st of March 2011. The waiving period is to be found whereby a person is in severe financial hardship because they've incurred unavoidable or reasonable expenditure, including the cost of living, while serving the waiting period. So there is an opportunity for there to be discussion around that matter, but the government has determined
Time's
to stick...
expired, Senator Carr. Senator Siewert.
I'll ask the question again. Did you do the review? If not, why not? Very simple.
Senator Carr.
Thank you, Mr President. The advice that I have been given, Senator, is that as a result of the actions of the government in the 2009-10 budget, the amount of money that was to be deemed as part of the liquid assets waiting period test was doubled. It was doubled for a specific period of time, and since the economic conditions have improved, the government has not made any decision to extend that period of time. And frankly, that's about all I can say to you in these circumstances. If there are further information that the Minister wishes to provide, I will, of course, get that information to you.
Senator Siewert.
Thank you, Mr President. I'm assuming the answer is no, the review has not been done. So I therefore ask, on what basis has the government made the decision not to extend the changes to the liquid assets test? What proof have they got that, in fact, there is no need to extend the provisions that were made through the stimulus package? What evidence have you got that you don't need it when you haven't done the review?
The Minister.
Thank you. What I'm advised, Senator, is that based on the arrangements made in 2009-010 budget, that there was to be an extension of these benefits for a limited period, from the 1st of April 2009 to the 31st of March. That is, of course, what was in the arrangements in terms of the budget. Nothing has changed in that regard. The government takes the view that as a result of the improvement in the economic conditions, particularly where we have a situation where the unemployment rate is at 5%, which of course compares with the unemployment rate in the United States, for instance, of 9%. Well, there's a difference there. In Europe, it's at 10%. Australia is economically faring so much better, and that is the basis on which the sound economic management of this government, Senator, the sound economic management decision, the result of the decisions we took to actually spare this country from recession.
Senator Carr, your time has expired.